Chosen one, God marks specific days just for you. Listen, it's happening. Something rare is happening in the unseen. Something precise, something that was not marked by men, but by the hand of God himself. These are not just ordinary days. These are not moments created by coincidence or chance. These are divine appointments, specific days that heaven has already stamped with your name. Days that carry your deliverance. Days that hold open doors. Days that are keys to your next level. Listen closely. What's about to happen to you is not random. It was written before you ever got here. And now the time has come for you to step into what's already yours. This video isn't an accident, it's a signpost, a reminder that your journey has not been ignored and your cries have not been forgotten. You are being nudged by divine timing, gently moved into alignment with something greater than you can imagine. Stay with this message until the end, because by the time this ends, something within you will shift. You'll feel the momentum that's been building. And write your warmest wish in the comments and type 99. Let the universe feel the energy of your faith. Something good is being stirred. A new day is rising for you. Now, chosen one, like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel. And let's begin. God has a way of hiding things in plain sight until it's time to reveal them. You've walked through hours, days, even years, wondering why certain things never made sense. But what if those days weren't just delays? They were divine. What if the things you thought were wasted were actually preparation? God doesn't waste your pain. He doesn't overlook your tears. He counts them and he appoints days for restoration. The reason you feel the stirring now is because you are standing on the edge of one of those days, a day marked specifically for you, a day that was spoken into existence for your transformation. Not every day carries the same power. Some days are meant for learning, some are meant for letting go. But a few days, those rare ones, are anointed for breakthrough. They are wrapped in destiny. They are heaven-sent intersections where your life collides with promise. You're entering that season. Now, you've waited long enough. You've held on through storms that tried to drown your hope. But something is shifting, and it's not just a feeling, it's a divine fact. Your name has been scheduled in heaven's agenda. It's not just coming, it's unfolding. You might not have all the evidence yet. The bank account may still look the same. The situation around you may still be catching up. But don't be fooled by appearances. Destiny often arrives quietly. It shows up not with noise, but with alignment. You suddenly find yourself in the right place, the right conversation, the right atmosphere, and everything changes. It's because those moments were preordained. You're walking into them. Now your job is not to force. Your job is to follow. The signs are leading you, and the days are being opened one by one. These days that are opening were blocked from your view. For a reason, you had to go through a season where it looked like nothing was happening, so that when something did happen, you'd recognize it as divine. You had to become so sensitive to your spirit that when a marked day arrives, you wouldn't dismiss it as coincidence. That's why you've been prepared in silence. That's why you've been hidden in plain sight. Because the day that's coming requires a you that's refined, wise, and ready, chosen. 1, your life is not behind schedule. It's exactly where it needs to be. All the delays you thought were detours were actually recalibrations. You are being prepared for this exact chapter. And now that the days are being unveiled, all you need to do is stay tuned in. Don't let noise distract you. Don't let doubt confuse you. Don't let impatience push you out of position. This is not the time to question your worth. This is the time to anchor into your calling, because the calendar is already written in your favor. Do you feel the internal shift, the quiet sense that something is about to be different? That's not anxiety. That's prophecy. That's your spirit recognizing the vibration of something. Appointed, that's your soul responding to a divine echo that's getting louder. You've entered the window of fulfillment. The season of marked days isn't ahead of you, it's around you. Look again, look deeper. The patterns are changing. You're being positioned, elevated and anointed to recognize what others overlook. What makes these marked days special is that they come with clarity. Things that confused you before will begin to make sense. Conversations that drained, you will no longer matter. You will feel a supernatural permission to walk away from old cycles. These days unlock wisdom and favor. You'll suddenly be drawn to things that build you. You'll be protected from distractions you didn't even see, and you'll feel peace about choices you used to doubt that is confirmation. You're not guessing anymore. You're being guided. Some will not understand why you're moving differently. Some will think you've changed, and they're right. You have marked days require marked behavior. You're not here to blend in. You're here to be bold, obedient, and alert. When God marks a day for you, He also equips you with the instincts to move in it. You will speak with power. You will walk with conviction. You will feel invisible hands making crooked paths straight. Even when it feels unfamiliar, your spirit will know. This is the moment I was made for. The days that are coming won't just change your life, they will redefine your story. These days will carry divine proof. You'll receive signs so clear, even your doubts will be silenced. Doors will open without explanation. Opportunities will seek you out. People will be placed in your path to lift you, not drain you. This is what happens when marked days arrive. Acceleration follows. Transformation begins, and every broken piece of your past begins to look like a puzzle that was always meant to fit together. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are not overlooked. You are appointed. There is no force that can delay what God has designed for you. The enemy may have tried to confuse your mind, delay your progress, or dim your light, but he cannot stop a day that God has already anointed. And this chosen one is one of those days. This is a crossing over a divine time stamp, a threshold into something sacred, something settled, something sure you're not just hoping anymore. You're stepping, you're not just waiting, you're aligning, because this time you're not wondering if it's for you. You know, it's not just a good day, it's your marked day. There's something different in the atmosphere when God marks a day for you. The air feels thinner, your senses are heightened, your awareness becomes sharp. It's like your soul stands up before your body, even knows what's happening. That's how aligned this moment is. It doesn't need your effort, it needs your attention, because when a divine day meets a prepared heart, miracles unfold without resistance. You don't have to chase anything. It will find you. What is meant for you is already scheduled into time. You see, time is not your enemy. It's been your ally all along. Every so-called delay was not working against you. It was protecting what's been prepared. If God had given it to you sooner, you may have settled for something too small. You may have mishandled the gift. But now your character has matured. Your discernment is stronger. Your awareness is tuned. You're no longer asking why it's taking so long. You're realizing that the wait was necessary for your wings to grow, because now when you rise, you won't fall back. You've become too anchored. Every chosen soul must pass through a corridor of divine timing. In that corridor, you're stripped of illusions. You lose attachments that were only meant to last for a season. People exit patterns, break habits, get exposed. It's uncomfortable, but it's holy. And if you're reading this right now, you've made it through that corridor. That's why this message hits differently. That's why it feels personal, because it is the marked days you are about to enter are not just rewards. They are releases of power, purpose, peace, Everything that has been held back is being unlocked. God has placed specific alignments on your calendar. These are moments where favor collides with preparation, where vision meets provision. You'll feel like you're in the right place at the right time with the right words, doing exactly what you were created to do. That's not random. That's the evidence of a marked day. You won't have to force the doors open. They'll recognize you and they'll swing wide, not because of your status, but because of your spiritual authority. What's coming has your spiritual fingerprint on it. The reason it had to take this long is because what's coming is long-lasting. It's not temporary favor, it's sustained transformation. You won't just get the opportunity, you'll be trusted with it. You won't just touch wealth, you'll build from it. You won't just rise, you'll remain because the foundation has already been rebuilt. You are not who you used to be, and the days marked for you were always designed for this version of you, the healed, focused, sharpened version you have earned this season through endurance. And now heaven says, it's time. There are days in life that leave no doubt, days that carry a prophetic weight, days that shift how you think, how you see, and how you speak. These are not soft days. These are spiritual earthquakes. They shake everything that is not rooted in truth, but they also reveal what is unshakable in you. You'll know it when it happens. You'll walk away from a conversation changed. You'll meet someone who awakens a gift in you. You'll be placed in a room you never could have entered by human effort. That is the evidence. God marked. The truth is, you've always been walking toward this alignment. You may not have known it, but your spirit did. That's why you couldn't settle. That's why certain places and people no longer fit. You were never supposed to shrink yourself to survive. You were designed to grow into the calling that's now rising around you. These marked days are not just about blessing you. They're about unveiling you. It's time the world sees who you really are. Not the version that was shaped by pain, but the version that was destined before pain ever touched. You get ready to walk through moments that feel scripted by the divine. Conversations will flow with power. Ideas will pour through you. Solutions will come with ease. And people will look at you and wonder how, but you'll know this was the day that was written for me. You'll feel a knowing that bypasses logic, a confidence that doesn't come from titles, but from divine alignment. That's the power of a marked day. It restores your memory of who you are. And with that memory comes activation. Your gifts will awaken again. Dormant talents will return. Boldness will rise in you like a fire that refuses to go out. These aren't just feelings. These are callings. This is your original design. Coming alive on these days. You're not just moving forward. You're expanding, stretching into the fullness of your divine assignment. And you'll no longer be afraid of the weight, because now you know you're built for it. The marked days also come with protection. Not everyone will be allowed to walk with you into this chapter. That's not punishment, that's preservation. Some people were only meant for the version of you that didn't know your power. Now that you've remembered, your path will narrow. And that's a gift. You're not losing. People, you're gaining clarity. You're not being isolated. You're being crowned in silence, because when God elevates you, he often does it away from the crowd. And when it's time to reveal you, no one will be able to deny the glow. You'll begin to see signs in the smallest places, numbers, timings, words that echo, things you've been hearing in prayer, unexpected opportunities, confirmations that feel like divine winks, and they're not your imagination. They're your invitation, an invitation to believe bigger, to walk taller, to stop waiting for permission. These days are not coming to prove your worth. They're coming because your worth has already been settled, and heaven is simply making that worth visible. Now, chosen one, these marked days are not just events. They are divine encounters. They are thresholds, places where your old story ends and your divine story accelerates. and you won't have to force anyone to understand it. These days will speak for you. Your growth will speak your peace, will speak your alignment, will speak, and even in silence, your presence will carry power. You are not here to explain. You are here to embody what God already declared about you. And guess what? There's more. This is just the beginning of the unveiling. The days ahead hold surprises. So holy, you'll be in awe of how detailed God's plan has been. Not one tear wasted, not one detour useless. Everything served the timeline. And now that the days are aligning, the blessings will come like waves, steady, specific, supernatural. Not because you begged for them, but because you were prepared for them. You are entering into something so intentional that even the small things will feel prophetic. A random encounter marked a delayed message that finally arrives. Marked a sudden idea that changes your entire perspective. Marked, you'll begin to notice how every detail feels arranged with care, as if heaven itself is choreographing your steps, because these days are not just about miracles. They are about awakening your awareness to the fact that God has never missed a beat when it comes to your life. This is why some doors didn't open, not because you weren't worthy, but because the day for them wasn't marked. It had to be the right place at the right time with the right purpose attached. And now those aligned moments are being released. It's a quiet unveiling, a holy unfolding, and even though it may still feel subtle, it's building what you sense in your spirit. What you feel rising, even if you can't yet name it, is the signature of a divine schedule manifesting in your life. You'll find that the tension you've been carrying begins to lift, not all at once, but gradually, like dawn breaking after a long night. There's peace in these days that you didn't have before, a confidence that doesn't require applause, a stillness in your soul that doesn't fear the future. That's what happens when you walk in. Marked days. You stop striving. You start flowing. You begin to understand that you are not lost. You're being led. The distractions you once battled will start to lose their grip. It's not that they disappear, it's that your spirit becomes too focused to be shaken. You'll feel a divine filter forming around your mind. Old insecurities will feel unfamiliar. Past patterns will start to fade because the days marked for you carry deliverance too. Not just external change, but internal healing. This is not a surface level shift, it's a foundational reset. Your thoughts, your desires, your direction, it's all being upgraded, and don't be surprised if things start moving fast. Marked days often carry acceleration. What once took years will now take days. What once felt impossible will start falling into place. This is not the time to hesitate when you feel the nudge move, when you sense the release act. When the door opens, step through fear may try to whisper. Lies, but favour will speak louder. You were made for this pace. You were moulded for this level. You are not behind. You're right on time. People around you may not understand what's shifting, but they'll sense the change. They'll notice how you've stopped explaining and started embodying, how your energy feels lighter, how your presence feels more certain. That's the effect of marked days. You begin to reflect what's already happening in the spirit. It's not just talk anymore, it's transformation. You are becoming the manifestation of what you've prayed for. And the beauty of it is that you no longer have to convince anyone. Your alignment speaks volumes. This is the reward of trusting divine timing. It wasn't easy. There were moments when you questioned everything, moments when silence made you wonder if you were forgotten. But now you see that the silence wasn't abandonment, it was preparation. God wasn't ignoring you. He was insulating you. He was wrapping you in unseen protection, because what's coming required a purified vessel. And now that the moment is here, you'll recognize just how perfectly it all fits together. You'll see why you had to be hidden, why you had to feel unseen, why certain people didn't stay, why some plans fell through. It was all because of these days when your life would shift in such a powerful way. It would require your full focus. These aren't days to share with everyone. Some things must be protected in the early stages. You don't owe explanations for your glow up. You don't need validation to move differently. Your discernment will tell you who can walk with you and who must watch from afar. These marked days are not just for arrival, they are for announcement. Not public announcement, but spiritual announcement. You're being released into new territory, and the heavens are making it known. Creation itself is responding to your shift. That's why certain things around you feel like they're rearranging, because they are. The earth responds to purpose when you walk in. Your marked days, even nature cooperates. Things come into place without you forcing them. You'll begin to notice synchronicities, dreams that feel more vivid, conversations that feel divinely timed, people showing up at the exact moment you needed encouragement. These are not just feel-good signs. They are confirmations. They are heaven's gentle nods, reminding you that you are not alone in this. You are walking with divine company. Angels are attending your steps. Grace is guarding your path. You are surrounded by guidance. You cannot see, but you can feel. Don't ignore the pull towards solitude. In marked seasons, solitude is a sanctuary. It's where you hear most clearly. It's where the downloads come. It's where the divine voice whispers strategy, clarity, and peace. You are not being separated to suffer. You're being set apart to receive. So don't resist the quiet. Lean into it. Let it sharpen your ears. Steady your heart and prepare your spirit. Because when the spotlight comes, you'll need the strength you gained in the stillness. You may feel the weight of newness, and that's okay. Expansion is a stretch. Growth isn't always comfortable, but you're not stretching into something foreign. You're growing into something familiar. Your spirit has seen this before. Your soul has tasted this victory before. That's why it feels both unfamiliar and deeply right. At the same time, you are becoming what was always written about you. These days are not changing you into someone new. They're revealing the real you. There is no room for shrinking here, no space for self-doubt these days. Demand your full expression, your full authority, your full permission. Because the days ahead are not for questioning your calling. They're for walking boldly in it. No more second-guessing, no more seeking confirmation from the wrong voices you've already received. Heaven's confirmation these days are here, the shift is real, and you are ready. You'll start to feel an inner boldness, rising a sense that you're supposed to speak. Let create shift, and you won't need permission anymore. The days have given you authority. Divine timing has unlocked something in you. Your voice will carry weight. Your presence will demand attention, not from ego, but from essence. You are stepping into the frequency of fulfillment. You are resonating with your rightful space. The beauty of marked days is that they not only lift you, they ripple out. They touch people connected to your purpose. You'll start to see how your obedience blesses others, how your movement inspires healing, how your alignment breaks chains around you. Because when a chosen one walks in their days, everything around them begins to align too. You don't just rise alone, you pull others up with you. This is why the process was so specific, because the result was always meant to be generational. There is something sacred about what's unfolding right now. You're not just rising, you're rising with purpose. These marked days were not created for shallow wins or fleeting recognition. They were carved into time for deep transformation. Not just so you could get more, but so you could become more. You're stepping into days that have been soaked in divine strategy, and the version of you that's emerging is not just stronger, It's spiritually refined, deeply aware, and entirely activated. You'll begin to feel moments of deep resonance where everything around you just makes sense. The timing, the clarity, the inner calm, it all flows together. That's not coincidence. That's spiritual maturity, aligning with divine orchestration. What used to confuse you no longer matters. You're no longer searching for direction. You're walking in it these days. Were marked not to find you in confusion, but to anchor you in clarity. You are finally here. Not just physically, but mentally and spiritually, here grounded in destiny. And from this grounded place, everything begins to flow. No longer will you chase alignment. It will find you no longer. Will you plead for clarity? It will be your default state. No longer will you over-explain or overextend. The more aligned you become, the more powerful your no will be, the more intentional your yes will become. Because in marked days, your energy is sacred, your time is holy, your space is prophetic. Not everyone will be allowed to walk into it. And that's not pride, that's protection. The day is marked for you. Carry filters, spiritual boundaries that shield your purpose. You'll begin to sense when something isn't aligned. Even if it looks good on paper, you'll walk away from things that once felt like dreams, because now you know they're too small. What's coming to you requires space. It requires room to unfold, and you're no longer apologizing for the magnitude of your calling. These marked days are expanding you to match the weight of your next level. And here's what's beautiful. You won't have to beg for confirmation anymore. These days come with clarity that is unmistakable. You'll speak and the atmosphere will respond. You'll pray and manifestation will follow. You'll dream and suddenly the resources will appear. That's what happens when heaven is in motion on your behalf. You're not guessing anymore, you're walking with precision, and that precision is setting you apart. You'll feel more connected to your higher self than ever before. You'll find yourself reflecting, releasing, and rising all at once. People from your past may try to re-enter, but they won't recognize you anymore. Not because you've become arrogant, but because you've become ascended. You're no longer moving from wounded places. You're moving from wisdom. You're no longer chasing closure. You've outgrown the question entirely. That's the evidence that you've entered the marked days. And these days won't just touch your personal life. They'll overflow into your environment. Your work will change. Your words will carry more weight. Your presence will feel different because these days come with divine evidence. Things begin to fall into place without chaos. Finances flow, ideas flourish, partnerships appear, and you no longer have to strive. You simply show up aligned and available. And God does the rest in these days. Even your silence will carry power. You'll find that you don't need to say much anymore. Your results will speak. Your peace will announce your elevation. People will feel your shift before they see your fruit. And when the fruit appears, they'll say, of course, because even your waiting season was graceful. Even your wilderness was holy. You never stopped growing. You never stopped evolving. And now the reveal has begun. But don't be surprised if a test comes before. The full unveiling marked days often begin with final confirmations. Not from God, but from you. You'll be asked to release what's safe in order to receive what's sacred, to step away from what's known. So you can enter the unknown that holds your greatness. You'll be asked to trust what you feel over what you see. And when you do, you'll cross over into alignment, into fullness, into divine arrival. This is not a halfway blessing. This is the whole breakthrough. The days ahead are dripping with destiny, saturated with promises, charged with spiritual upgrades. You'll feel more guided, more protected, more equipped. You'll attract peace. You'll radiate certainty. You'll know exactly who you are and where you're going. And even when you don't know the full picture, you'll trust the artist. Because God didn't bring you this far to leave you guessing. He brought you this far. so you could finally start living from the center of your anointing. This is your shift into a lifestyle of divine flow, where your decisions are led by spirit, not stress, where your days are fruitful, not frantic, where your focus is sharp, and your faith is stable. The roller coaster is over, you've passed the test. These marked days are the reward for not folding, for holding on. When it would have been easier to give up for choosing growth, when bitterness knocked for believing, even when belief felt like a burden, and now you're standing in the release. It may feel surreal at first, like your mind has to catch up with what your spirit already knows, but don't shrink back. Don't dismiss it as too good to be true. You've done the work, you've walked through fire, you've been refined. And this is what promise feels like: ease, grace, alignment, authority. This is your spiritual inheritance being activated. These are the marked days that rewrite everything. So move like, it's already yours. Speak like, you're already backed. Decide like you're already supported. Walk like everything you touch is already aligned, because it is. That's what marked days do. They confirm what you've always carried inside. And now the world gets to see it too. The unfolding you're experiencing is not just spiritual, it's strategic. Heaven doesn't move without intention. When God marks specific days for your breakthrough, it means everything surrounding those days must also bow to the divine plan that includes people, circumstances, and even delays. What once stood in your way will now work in your favor. What once blocked your access will now become a bridge. This is divine reversal. The script is flipping, and you chosen one are being written into the page of victory. You're not the same person you were when this year started. You've been stretched, awakened, and purified. You've cried in silence. You fought unseen battles, but you kept going. You kept trusting, you kept walking, even when the road was invisible. That kind of faith shifts things. That kind of endurance attracts divine acceleration. And now, because you stayed the course, the days that were once only whispered in prayer are arriving in full manifestation. There is a vibration to these days. You can feel it in your body, sense it in your emotions, and recognize it in your mind, the things that used to drain. You don't even appeal to you anymore. You don't entertain chaos like you used to. You don't argue with limitation. You've stopped begging for validation because something in you knows there's no time to waste. These days are too holy. These moments are too costly. You're not here to explain your elevation. You're here to embody it. You'll begin to experience uncommon favor, not just opportunities, but divine partnerships, unexpected financial flow, encounters that seem random, but are rooted in purpose. And what will shock you most is how naturally it all fits. No force, no pressure, no pretending. It's just right. That's how, these days were marked for you. They carry your spiritual fingerprint. They were designed to respond to your obedience, not your striving. God is not just bringing you into new places. He's bringing the right people into your path.